All right, apparently there's some exclusive details that we don't know about that IGN has released, I guess, from the devs. Yeah, CD Projekt Red reveals exclusive details. All right. Oh, and by the way, what is this hate with, because I don't really get on Twitter like that, but apparently there's been a lot of hate with Siri being the main character in the game. Why is there so much hate for it? As for me, I was like, as long as Geralt's in the game, I'm cool and he gets respect. But if you played anything of Witcher 3, you know that this was going to happen. Like, I was thinking about, I'm like, okay, I don't remember everything of Witcher 3, but I do remember one of the big deals, which was Ciri. And this was bound to happen. Her being a main person in any kind, like, one of the future Witcher games, whether it's going to be 4 or 5, whatever, but now you see it's in 4. I don't get it. Like, people say it's woke. Like, I don't know what's woke about that. Like, if you know the game, you saw this happening. You saw it coming. So even when I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, it brought back a memory of Witcher 3. I was like, oh, okay. Because at first, like, why is Siri? That's why. Someone made a good point. It was like sometimes people show that they haven't played the game or they just forgot, but they going straight to this. Oh, it's woke. So I mean, we'll see what the direction CD Projekt Red puts Siri in, but her being the main person is not woke or whatever, you know. I don't know. I think people started to throw that word out there a little too much. Just because it's a woman or a person of whatever the case may be does not always mean it's woke. Now, there are a lot of games and movies and stuff that do it for that reason. I'm not saying it doesn't, but with Siri, I'm like, all right, I don't remember every part of Witcher 3, but I do remember like situations with Siri where this makes sense. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something about it. But anyway, I'm gonna see what's these exclusive details of Witcher 4. I'm excited for it. And it's CD Projekt Red. CD Projekt Red gave me one of the greatest games of all time. Cyberpunk 2077. They have my loyalty. I mean, they'll have to mess up big time for me to doubt them. I love Witcher 3. If I play Witcher 4 and this is way off the rails, then I'll change my opinion. But for now, I'm not going to base that this game's going to be trash over a cinematic trailer. That's another thing, too. It's a cinematic trailer. We ain't even getting no breakdowns. I don't even think this game's going to come out. I'm just assuming this game ain't going to come out till fall of next year. I could be wrong. Hopefully it's sooner. I would hope. But, yeah, Siri being the main person makes sense. I just hope they don't do it where they did like Last of Us 2 and you just kill the guy off in the most disrespectful way. Don't do that to Geralt. Let him be alive, one, and then respect him in the game. That's all I gotta say. But let's move on. Let's see what this exclusive stuff is. I'll put IGN's video in the description below.
Oh God,
the original one.
There are only monsters.
Okay, so first and foremost, let it cook.
The ovens at CD Projekt Red are fired up, but while we may have to wait a bit longer to actually play the Polish developer's next dark fantasy chapter, the first taste of The Witcher 4 is finally here. Revealed as part of the Game Awards 2024, the 6-minute cinematic announcement trailer is a classic Witcher tale of men, monsters, and morality. This time though, it's not Geralt of Rivia taking up the steel and silver swords, it's his adoptive daughter, Ciri. Naturally, a trailer for the sequel to one of the most beloved games of all time raises questions. Lots of questions. To find answers, IGN visited CD Projekt Red's HQ ahead of the Game Awards to speak with key members of the development team. They revealed their plans for making The Witcher 4 both an ideal starting point for new players and a satisfying sequel for die-hard fans, how they are building on the successes and mistakes of Cyberpunk, and how Ciri's new role brings exciting changes to both the story and game design of The Witcher.
We want to give players more tools, more opportunities to be able to feel that yes, I am the player and I define my experience.
I'm looking forward to seeing Ciri's development in this game.
Witcher, whose coin did you take?
The Witcher 4, it's evolution of what we did before, and it's the next journey, next step. Obviously, it's still open world action RPG. This is what we do here, but we want to apply simply every single lesson so far and raise the bar, and we are trying to make the best game we can possibly create.
At the heart of this single-player RPG is a single protagonist, Ciri. A key character from both the Witcher books and 2015's The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt, this new game will be the first time Ciri takes on the protagonist role.
We're introducing Ciri. Since I remember we've been talking about Ciri and how much she deserves her journey, and so kind of we are passing the torch. We are actually telling the new story, new saga with Ciri herself, with all the respect to the canon, to the previous games we've said.
Yeah, it makes
before.
sense.
Much like
if you
her
know the
predecessor
previous
Geralt,
game,
Ciri is a monster hunter for hire with long flowing white hair. But that's where the similarities end. Ciri is a very different person to the stoic, methodical Geralt, and that means The Witcher 4 will feature a different approach to narrative and character growth.
which makes sense.
See, I can do it too.
I would say she's the very organic logic choice. For me personally, it was always about her starting from Saga when you read it in the books. And she's an amazing layer character. She's younger, she had her opinions, she's rebellious about it, so the way she will fight, the way she will interact, the way she will feel, this all gives an opportunity to the player, for me most of all, to actually experience the world even more than it was possible before.
And on top of that, you know, I love this grit in her. You know, like she's like almost obsessed with the way she lives. This is like really close to my heart when it comes to, you know, some moments that you have to go with your heart instead of always going with the calculated calls. And this is what I love in Ciri, that she's less calculating, followed by heart, by the passion, by the gut feel even.
You don't know how it is to see someone you love die because of you, for you.
She's not neutral, she never was, right? So she always chooses something, so this is a totally different thing, and I think a bigger challenge for her, for the players that will experience the game with her, and for us also to push the boundaries.
And we also want to let player try to define her, because she's way younger than Geralt. She's actually about to become the Witcher. She's about to actually form her own codex, but on her own terms. The way she actually deals with the monsters, the way she deals with quests, the adventures, it's her own unique way. She gives more room to be able to tell different stories here and there. We want to put player agency in the center. We want player to be able to really sense these opportunities and to go in depth when it comes to choice and consequences.
This is my story, not yours. You must let me finish telling it.
And you know what I love about Ciri is that her position is deserving. You see the character development, her flaws and everything, her victories, learning from Geralt, also learning from experience. Her whole, especially if you play 3, you see that she's deserving of her own game here. In my opinion, it's not something like Rey Skywalker in Star Wars, where all of a sudden she shows up, she's knowing how to fight a Sith Lord with no training. She has all these powers, doing all this stuff with no. It wasn't deserving. Her position was not deserving. Ciri, you saw her from the ground up, and that's why I said it makes sense in Witcher 4 for her to be in this position. If you know, even if you haven't played, just watch. I'm pretty sure someone on YouTube has some footage. Just watch her growth from the beginning to now. It's deserving. That's why I don't understand what is this hate that she's getting. I don't get it. Because unlike Rey Skywalker, Ciri, it makes sense. Rey Skywalker made no sense at all. That's why people didn't like it. But anyway, yeah.
Challenging choices and difficult consequences have defined CDPR's stories since the very beginning. All of the Witcher games have featured decisions that branch the narrative in unexpected ways, forcing you to pay the cost of your actions. But for The Witcher 4, the development team intends to explore choice and consequence on a deeper level.
It's the evolution of The Witcher, so more tools to be able to not only, again, play and go with the consequences narratively, but also gameplay-wise. We want to give player more tools, more opportunities to be able to again feel that yes, I am the player and I define my experience.
And I guess that also it's not only our tools that what I can do, which is the most important part, but also how all the world reacts, right?
As previously mentioned, Ciri being less defined and less calculating than Geralt means she's a better canvas for player choice. That's why The Witcher 4 is promised to feature more tools and a world that appropriately reacts to those tools. But this approach isn't just rooted in Ciri and The Witcher, it's the natural progression from Cyberpunk 2077, CD Projekt Red's other RPG that put much heavier emphasis on character skills and builds.
First and foremost, the rule at Red is that you want to apply all lessons learned from the previous games. This is what we do. So we know what we did better in Cyberpunk comparing into Witcher. For example, I believe
Best
the
games
gameplay
ever. If
was
you haven't played it,
more
go pick that
varied and
game
it
up.
left more freedom when it comes to
It's
creating
perfect right
builds
now to
and
pick it
being
up.
able to experience encounters in your own way. And this is something we definitely want to bring as a lesson, meaning that, let's say, Witcher Wild Hunt in mind.
I want to
we
replay
improve on
Witcher
gameplay,
3
but
just to
also
refresh
we
my
want to
memory.
improve the element of the way you will be able to explore the world. We work in a way that it helps us to build a super coherent experience. To be very honest, I believe that Phantom Liberty already showed that, and this is something that we keep improving. Ultimately, we want to end up with the situation that the game is as coherent from the experience point of view as possible on all different layers. Not only main quests, but also sides, minors, adventures, everything that supports the way we want you to feel in particular moments. Because it's all about feelings in the end.
Your life is yours exclusively. You choose who you are.
Geralt, you know that's never been true. All because of this damned Elder Blood. My gift. My curse.
It has been almost 10 years since The Witcher 3 launched, and so when The Witcher 4 finally arrives, it won't just be very patient fans who turn up to play. There will be a whole new generation of players who have never played a Witcher game before. This is the challenge CDPR has faced during development of The Witcher 4. It needs to be a satisfying sequel and a solid jumping on point for people who have never set foot in the Northern Kingdoms.
We want to create this game in a way that the players with sentiment will feel that they get back home, but definitely the way we structure it, the way we kind of sell the world, sell the stakes, sell the character motivation in a way that is going to be appealing for every single one.
But we want to aim to the new players, wider audience, also the people that knows the franchise but maybe not play our games. So they were introduced by other media to that. So we wanted to reach to actually everybody and make, invite them so they don't feel lost even though they didn't play. Of course, we invite everybody to play the previous game before, but it's not needed, and we want to also address that.
We want to support this approachable element. First of all, we make RPGs, and we pay so much, respect to this genre in general. But what's the most important, we create story-driven games. So we want to make sure that people that buy games for story, they will be able to experience the story in their own way. They will be simply able to approach it. But people that are looking for specific challenges, then will also be able to experience the story, but in a challenging way.
First-time players join Ciri at an important time in her life. She has undertaken the Trial of the Grasses, a dangerous mutation procedure that creates witchers. But long-time fans may be confused as to why Ciri is a witcher. Or, if they made grave choices, how she is even alive. The Witcher 3 has many endings, and only one of them sees Ciri survive to become a Witcher. So has CDPR chosen a canon ending to The Witcher 3, and will that invalidate other endings that send Ciri off to very different fates?
It's a good question, but also there were people that found out this symbolic swallow on the painting, right? We left some room for interpretation. So I don't think anyone will feel cheated, to be honest.
I think that overall the way we usually approach it is kind of, the community always was important for us and still is, right? So we are listening, but at the same time we need to balance it with what we want to show, right? So this is also this tricky part, and we really hope that we met the expectation.
Allow me to introduce Geralt of Rivia.
Ah, greetings. We've heard heaps about you.
Another tricky thing that CD Projekt Red faces is the shadow of its past. Cyberpunk 2077 is today regarded as a landmark RPG, but its launch was one of the highest profile disasters in industry history. The studio has, quite rightly, had to learn some hard lessons over the past few years, but those lessons have helped inform changes to the way CDPR works, which hopefully means much better things for The Witcher 4.
First and foremost, let it cook. Secondly, the way we produce right now also changed in a very good way. Meaning we are very mindfully defining the stages of the production, very mindfully trying to, scope it, making sure that the foundation is there. And to be very honest, I already see that it helps us to make sure that whatever we create right now is super coherent across the board. And this way make us feel that we control this super complex environment more than we used to control. That makes also everyone feeling more secure when it comes to, developing generally on daily basis.
This new way of working isn't just important for ensuring quality and a smooth eventual release though. During development of Cyberpunk 2077, it was reported that staff endured long working hours and mandatory overtime, an unhealthy and damaging practice known as crunch. The studio's new approach aims to create a better working environment for the people making The Witcher 4.
I think it's already helping. The way to produce it in a healthy manner so that people still can find fun from what they do, and that's what is inspiring, that's what makes the quality so high. So we're planning a different way. We communicated with the team, we work with the teams in different way. Teams are planned also different everywhere, so it's already helping. This is really complex. So
I'm glad they even addressed it here.
And puzzles together and people working together.
We are looking at the whole development process, not only from the development point of view, but also on the communication, the leadership, the clarity. We actually have to be on top of our game to be able to deliver the best game. So it's complex, but I'm pretty proud of where we are right now when it comes to the overall processes.
Sometime in the future, we will be shown the game those processes have created.
How long? A week? A month?
Right now though, all we have is a 6-minute cinematic trailer. But while it may be short, with no gameplay whatsoever, the entire trailer has been crafted with the aim of communicating the world of The Witcher 4 in a surprising amount of detail.
Believe me that behind every single scene there was an intention. We were building it in a way to sell the very, very coherent short story in a way that you care, in a way that you understand more or less what this world is all about, understanding what the Witcher profession really is, how the world reacts.
I guess that we also wanted to have the full experience. You can go, because this is, as we mentioned a few times, coming home for the old people, but this is introduction for the new audience, and also this is very for us important introduction of the protagonist.
Also, world building here is a very important factor. So there's a 6 minutes of the message, and it's very layered message. Recommending to study each frame and think about that.
For more from The Witcher 4, be sure to watch our story primer, created with the help of CD Projekt Red's own lore masters. And for everything else, stick with IGN.
All right, well, I'm ready. I'm down for it. I'm glad Ciri's in the game as the main character. I have no problem with it whatsoever, especially if you know Witcher. Like I said, the only thing I'm hoping for is they don't mess up the story of Geralt. Like, don't mess that up. Let him be in the game too. Let him be in the game. You know, I always say it would be cool if he does a mission that Ciri needs his help on. And so you're not controlling him, but he's fighting by your side. Let us be able to visit him, and you see the good life he has and all this stuff. Like, do something like that. Please don't disrespect him. And the reason I say please is because we've seen, like I brought up Rey Skywalker. We see how Star Wars did Luke, Han, and Leia. We saw that stuff. No, please. We see it in games. Don't, because you want to put somebody in front, disrespect what was. Last of Us 2 kind of way. You know, so I have hope. Anyway, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Let me know what you think about it. I'll put the original video in the description below. I'll see you later.